More importantly for me, I think if this space has to evolve, the biggest missing piece right now is around liquidity.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about is automated market making. As I mentioned before, the XRP ledger is the OG DEX. We had a DEX in 2012. We have cross-currency payments. We have issued assets. We built the XRP ledger. We designed it, and other people have extended it with the payments use case in mind. And that payment use case is a cross-currency payment world. It's a world where some people like dollars, some people like euros, some people like Bitcoin, some people like XRP. It's a multi-token world. It's a tokenized world where maybe other types of assets are tokenized. And liquidity is sort of the secret sauce to making that work.
More importantly for me, I think if this space has to evolve, the biggest missing piece right now is around liquidity.
And liquidity is sort of the secret sauce to making that work.
We can take a look at traditional finance, and you have these clear silos across different financial institutions. And when open networks and Bitcoin, for example, were introduced, they were really intended to break down those walls, disintermediate and decentralize the financial system and allow for value to flow smoothly throughout the network. And so while that problem was initially solved with the introduction of chains like Bitcoin and the XRP ledger, as time went on and the number of blockchains continued to grow, and you now have L1s, L2s, Ethereum came on the scene and it just continues to proliferate, it's almost as if we came almost full circle, and that now we have new walls and new silos where liquidity gets trapped on each of these individual blockchains. So interoperability and infrastructure like that of Axelar and Layer 0 is a great solution to that problem, and it's finally going to allow for the transfer of value, so tokens moving between these individual chains that all have their unique advantages and reason for attracting users, as well as information through new technologies and advancements like general message passing. So I think there are kind of two clear benefits in terms of how this interoperability will unlock additional liquidity, and the first is market efficiency. So now that value can seamlessly flow between chains, you no longer are going to have the issue where a particular user wants, say, USDC, for example, but that token is not issued on a particular chain. USDC can be brought over by a bridge, for example, and USDC can be brought over by a bridge, for example, and now there's greater access to a particular token.
Internet between counterparties. And so if we can, improve it with more scalable blockchain technologies like, Brad's company provides.
The other one that's even bigger is market depth and liquidity. So by removing liquidity silos, you're now going to have less slippage for traders because there's greater market depth.
I was going to say, Jazzy, well put. We're big believers at Circle that it is going to be a multi-chain future.
And that payment use case is a cross-currency payment world. It's a world where some people like dollars, some people like euros, some people like Bitcoin, some people like XRP. It's a multi-token world. It's a tokenized world where maybe other types of assets are tokenized. And liquidity is sort of the secret sauce to making that work. I think personally, my earliest vision that I think has held for 10 years now was this idea of sort of public pools of liquidity. In existing payment systems, you're stuck with that payment system's liquidity. If you use Western Union, you get their cash in, you get their cash out, you get their liquidity, whether you like it or not, and you can't unbundle those things. That early vision was these pools of liquidity that everybody can contribute to and everybody can draw off that are kind of unbundled from the payment system or the asset that you're using to pay with. Automated market makers, I think, will help improve that liquidity because they can capture a long tail of assets better than technologies like order books can. And this is kind of the same idea. You can build a federated sidechain with some feature that you want to propose for inclusion in the XRP ledger, and you can handle real money with it. You don't have to. You have a switch that you can flip whenever you're ready to handle real money.
We have a product called XRPL that allows banks to avoid that scenario. So if Wells Fargo instead holds XRP, and the bank in Standard Chartered in Singapore also deals in XRP, they can simply send that money over the blockchain, the XRP ledger, which is the blockchain that supports the currency XRP, in a matter of seconds. And instead of having to hold currencies in dozens and dozens of different countries, they are only holding one currency, and the time required to move money from one place to other goes down to literally seconds. It's a dramatic shift in thinking and a dramatic shift in demands required of capital needs around the world. And it addresses, kind of, I'd say, the third big pain point associated with cross-border payments. Now, banks are regulated, conservative, and they're not yet embracing digital currency. So the Ripple software works fiat to fiat. You don't need to send digital currency around. You can send US dollars to Japanese yen, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of the secret sauce, or taking it to the next level, is by leveraging a digital asset to make that transaction much more efficient.
Inclusion in the XRP ledger, and you can handle real money with it. You don't have to. But you have a switch that you can flip whenever you're ready to handle real money.
I remember when I was in a bank about 7 years ago, my last project with that bank was we actually issue a tokenized corporate bond way back in 2016. So tokenization is not a new concept. the European bank I was part of was the first bank to do this project. And there were many other projects running back then, but they never saw the day of the light because there were many missing pieces. There were no scaling solutions. There was no liquidity. More importantly, the exchanges or the FMIs were missing in action. That is now changing this time around. We are seeing many layer 2 or scaling solutions, infrastructure providers like Fireblocks, helping banks and other institutions, making it easier to do it. But most importantly, we are seeing the large FMIs, exchanges, CCPs, custodians coming in and taking part in this ecosystem. And that makes banks very comfortable with doing this at scale.
Look, Ripple at its core is a blockchain infrastructure company serving enterprises. We started with payments and financial institutions. We've moved into custody, a lot of overlap with those same financial institutions. But we're going to expand with that same thematic of infrastructure, enterprise-based. It's served us well.
The non-U.S. market has been really strong for us. And
you're going to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal. And we think that opportunity is huge. We think that's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use.
So I've seen several cycles. I mean, what's exciting right now is the amount of infrastructure that's been built. There's a lot of questions on scalability, not dissimilar to the internet in 1995, 1996, when it was really slow to download anything, send an email, and what we've seen great strides in is these layer 2 solutions. How do you verify transactions better or more efficiently with zero knowledge proofs, and so that whole scaling has been built over the last few years since 2020, and that's going to enable new applications to be built and enterprises to better utilize blockchain infrastructures, applications to be built, and enterprises to better utilize blockchain infrastructures.
Infrastructure, enterprise-based, it's served us well.
So I think we're just getting to the point where we're going to see more mass adoption over the next 5 years.
Each uniquely brings different properties. So if it's XRPL, who has a great reputation with an institutional audience and has a potential to really become a hub for the issuance of RWAs and become a central hub of trading, that's a unique proposition to the rest of the network. So I think we're continuing to see new innovations as application developers understand what they can do on top of GMP. And I think that the depth of liquidity that XRPL can potentially bring to this network is only going to expand these use cases and what can be built.
More importantly for me, I think if this space has to evolve, the biggest missing piece right now is around liquidity.